Hello, hello. This is Dr. Hines. A lot of people use the term narcissist or gaslighting as this new nomenclature, this new language to define somebody that you just didn't get along with or it just didn't work. You could be working a job and you could say, my boss is a narcissist. He's always trying to gaslight me, or she's always trying to gaslight me, and blah, 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 blah. Listen, people, just because it doesn't work between you and another person does not mean that person is a narcissist. I go online so many times and I see people who, talk about themselves and they were in a relationship and it didn't work out and they say, well, she was a narcissist or he was a narcissist. No, it just means that the two of you just did not get along. That you were not meant for him. She was not meant for you. And the two of you didn't see eye to eye, and it didn't work out. That's that. It's not always some systemic thing that this person is doing to undermine you. Now, in some cases, it is, and in some cases, some people are very specific in how they try to demean and bring you down. Yes, but that's not always. That's not 100%. That's not even. I don't even think it's 50% of the time. I think it's just sometimes two people, whether it be in a friendship, whether it be in a relationship, whether it be in a job, whether you're a member of a fraternity or a sorority or organization. If you live across the street from somebody, if you live down the street from somebody, it just means that the two of you just didn't click. You just didn't get along. It doesn't mean that that person is a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. You know, Sometimes we just use these terms to define the situation that we just don't like. We don't like the person, so he's a narcissist. We don't like what they said, so they're gaslighting me. No, you just don't like the person. You know, and I just I hear sometimes, and I'm gonna go back to something I said earlier. People get on the internet and they express how they feel, and they use these terms, and they have no real understanding of what these terms mean. They're just using them because it fits in the sentence, but they don't really know what they mean. So if you don't get along with somebody, or if you and another person are in some sort of, whether it be in a business relationship, whether it be a personal relationship or friendship or whatever, if it's somebody that you just live next door to and it doesn't work out, sometimes it just doesn't work out. You can't be narcissistic because my neighbor doesn't cut his grass as low as mine, so it doesn't match. Like that doesn't make sense to me. You know, a person can't be narcissistic because they refuse to allow you to talk to them any kind of way, or they refuse to allow you to demean them. Like, that's not being narcissistic. That's just that person standing up for themselves and saying, no, I'm not going to put up with that. I mean, it's crazy. It's like this happens, but what people don't realize is that what you let go, or what you no longer want to be associated with, because you thought that person was a narcissist, or you thought that person was gaslighting you, whatever term you want to use, is going to be a jewel in the gym to somebody else. So don't think that just because you aren't connected with that person, no one is ever going to get along with that person. If you live next door to a neighbor and you move, whoever moves in the house that you used to live in may get along with that neighbor that you didn't get along with before just fine. You may be at a job and you and your boss can't seem to get along, but the next person that comes after you, it might work perfectly great. So don't think that just because you don't get along with the person, that there's something wrong with the person. It just could be something wrong with the connection. But also, this will be my last point, sometimes we don't want to take all the blame. We don't want to take all the credit for something not working out, but we don't want to admit that we had a part to play in the demise. We want to say, well, this person didn't do this, and this person didn't do that, and this person didn't recognize their wrongs, and this person didn't do this. But rarely do we sit in front of the mirror and say, but I had a part to play in the demise of this. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And because of that, that's where we are. And you know what? That's life. You're not meant to get along with everybody. Every boss is not going to be your friend. Every neighbor is not going to be great. One thing my father always taught me is that you can buy your house, but you can't pick your neighbors. Every relationship is not going to work out. It's just not. Every friendship is not going to be the best friend ever. That happens. But just know that as you move in and out of your seasons, as you move in and out of people's lives, as you create relationships and as you end relationships, life will continue to move on. But you are ultimately responsible for your own happiness. It's Dr. Hines. Till next time.